Stugotz here. There's nothing small about your business, your passion, your hours, your reputation. It's all huge. Your partnerships, even bigger. With Dell Small Business Technology Advisors, you'll get the tech, advice, and one-on-one partnership to help your business grow. Because with reliable Dell PCs with Intel Core processors, you can focus on what matters most, getting business done. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL. Listen up, people. We have a big favor to ask, and we promise it won't take up too much of your time. You know, our show is supported by some fantastic sponsors, right? Well, we'd love to hear your feedback. Head to ESPNpodcaststudy.com and fill out a short, anonymous survey. That's it. We swear, again, that's ESPNpodcaststudy.com.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
I'm really torn. I don't know where to start the show today because here's what's problematic. Stugotz is blurting Dwight Howard Nets. I don't know why he did that to me. Dwight Howard Nets. That's still something that people care about on a Wednesday morning?
Probably not. I was just keeping you informed. That's all. Just keeping you up to date.
You spit it at me as if we need to talk about it. Dwight Howard to Nets.
I was just letting you know, man.
It was like, what, 7-8 years ago where you were asking the question, do you start a franchise with Dwight or LeBron, and you were taking Dwight?
Yes, that was a thing that happened with a lot of people. And then all of basketball changed right in front of our eyes, and it was like watching LeBron playing one-on-one against Dwight. How do you think that would go? That's a thing that happened.
Yep.
How are we old enough to remember that? There was a time in America where people debated, we're starting a franchise. Who do you do it with? Dwight Howard or LeBron James? I don't know, man.
Wasn't there a time where the answer was simple? It was Dwight Howard? It was Ralph Sampson?
I mean, yeah, that
right?
In the most prehistoric, the most prehistoric.
Well, did the Blazers take Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan?
Yes. Yes, that's also a thing that happened.
And recently, did Odin go before Durant?
Did he?
I think so.
Yeah, Dan was campaigning for
that. I know. Yes. I thought it should be so. Let's look back at that time, shall we? I was on national platforms, shaking a fist, telling people that you have to take Greg Oden over Kevin Durant. That's a thing I did on television.
Yep.
Shaking a fist, you got to do it. Always go big, man. And I thought it sounded smart. And then everything in sports changed.
Yep. Like the next day. It did sound smart at the time, but then it just flipped on you pretty quickly.
And next thing you know, we're doing a show on a Wednesday morning, and I'm asking you, hey, the guy we thought was LeBron is being traded to the Nets. Do you care? So anyways, in the middle of that.
This is Dwight's 6th team, I think 5th since he started having that debate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Nets are still buying in on it.
All right, well. Mike, you might see the smile on Mike's face on ESPN Ooze. He's happy because the Moroccan coach was doing things this morning, and Mike is post-coital.
Oh, man, this game was incredible, Dan. It had everything. The Moroccan manager. Oh.
Now, you might say to yourself, man, Mike, his voice sounds smoky, sensual. You'd be right.
Yeah. I lost my voice catcalling the Moroccan coach.
What kind of things were you?
Understandable.
Swing it over here, baby pop.
That you were catcalling?
Yeah, I was just whistling. Yeah. I was just howling like a wolf. So all things that I was doing. And then Ronaldo tried to get my attention by pulling the shorts up. Oh, man. And let me tell you something. He's got it going on. Oh, I'll just say, how do you have so many veins on your quads?
Did you see that header? His hair didn't move.
Oh, man. Oh, you see what he's growing now?
What?
Look, I didn't think I could find Cristiano Ronaldo more handsome than I already do. But if you watch the game against Spain where he scored all 3 goals for Portugal, an incredible game, he started doing this thing with his chin, and everyone was wondering, what is he doing there? And it turns out he was doing a goat celebration, saying, I'm the goat. And he was playing with his goat beard. Now he's actually growing a goatee. to prove he's GOAT. He scored the only goal in that game.
Well, doesn't he have 4 goals?
Yeah.
He has 4 goals in the tournament, 3 against a tremendous team in Spain, 1 that won the game against Morocco, a very game Morocco side. I would say that side was probably better than Portugal today.
Very game?
Yeah, very game. Game.
How?
Are you surprised he can grow facial hair?
Yeah. I mean,
This is a first. Yeah. I knew he could grow some around the sideburns because he's taken some creative liberties with the sideburns and whatnot. But to see him actually grow something on his chin, probably, you know what? I wouldn't rule out that he actually got a goatee transplant.
Oh, that's a thing.
Whoa, it's absolutely a thing. Yeah. And by the way, Ronaldo, still a boss. He's getting up there in age. His face is slightly getting weird at this point.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. What does that mean? His
it's
face
slightly
is
getting weird.
Hold on, but what does that mean? Because there was that bust in the airport where his face wasn't slightly weird. It's the worst bust in the history of sports busts.
No, they changed it. They actually took it out this week.
Wait a minute. What do you mean
second
worst? It's the worst ever. Don't tell me that Brandy Chastain bust.
That one's getting switched out already.
That was worse.
No.
That was worse.
You're simply wrong. Hold on. Put them both on the television screen at some point here. Put them both on Twitter and ask the Twitter question, which statue is worse? Ronaldo in an airport, Chastain, wherever that was.
I'm telling you, check out the Brett Favre Hall of Fame bust. I'm telling you, it's in the discussion, Dan.
Well, we need to do this.
Okay.
We need to see which is the worst of all the busts.
Billy just said Brandy Chastain looks like John Voight.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that at all. No.
Here's what I'm saying about that bust. It's not as bad as people think. Ronaldo's starting to look a little bit like that bust.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Do not tell me anything is not as bad as you think when anyone says the phrase, it looks like John Voight. that is not, how can that be a compliment in 2018?
It's not.
It's the worst possible insult.
Exhibit A is why it's terrible.
I know.
It's worse than the Ronaldo one because, like I said, Ronaldo's starting to look like that a little bit. Now, a lot of people have pointed out, well, Ronaldo had an eye injury. He didn't have an eye injury to the eye that's clearly much larger than the other one. I don't think he can close his right eye, and I don't really think he can move that eyebrow. Why? Recklessly, I'm alleging Botox, and I don't think it's that reckless.
Whoa. Reckless speculation, please. But you can't just do that. You can't.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You're good.
Ronaldo's face is more Botox than face.
Whoa! Botox.
Brett Favre's statue looks like Mickey Rourke.
Wait.
You're right.
Hold on.
You are right.
Hold on.
I was thinking the same exact thing.
Hold on. This is a very important question. This is a very important question I'm about to ask.
What?
Mickey Rourke, 9.5 weeks, Mickey Rourke, or Mickey Rourke now?
No. Not 9.5 weeks, Mickey Rourke. No.
Mickey Rourke, the wrestler?
No, not from the wrestler. It can't be the Mickey
Why can't we find some sort of middle ground?
His face looks like spaghetti. Come on. You look more like the Predator than the guy from 9.5 weeks.
Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
What I have chosen to do for a living is stupid. I have dedicated my life to swimming in a pool of stupidity.
Stugotz.
Well, it was the perfect career choice for me.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So, down here in the low trenches of the show business entertainment trough here, where radio exists in the sewers, way down here, we think that the big things in sports matter, that this decision is an enormous decision that is about a lot of money, and that decision is about overspent. Shouldn't have valued someone that way. But lording over it all, and I don't even know what I'm allowed to say about this, Mike, because the only source I have right now is comicbookmovie.com.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's
Hold on.
Go with it, man.
Hold on. So, yes, once I've shed the responsibility journalistically and can just put it on comicbookmovie.com, this is what comicbookmovie.com is reporting on Twitter. I'll back away from whatever the pyrotechnics are here with management and ESPN, but lording above everything.
By the way, that's an aggregate site. You can put it on CNBC and Variety and CNN.
All right, just don't put it on us. Put it on all those people. Lording above all of it in sports is Disney has now outbid Comcast with a massive $71.3 billion offer for 21st Century Fox's assets. This is, at the mountaintop, the cash fight for all the remaining money in sports. And Disney just pushed a lot of chips to the table, according to comicbooksmovie.com.
It's been reported that, and confirmed by several credible media sources, that Comcast had previously outbid the original bid from Disney on the heels of the Time Warner deal finally getting approved, and went in with a $65 billion all-cash offer. So this is just a few days later.
How gangster is that, by the way? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. All-cash offer coming out, swooping in by parachute with an all-cash offer of how much?
$65 billion, did you say?
Woo!
$65 billion with
Woo!
Wow.
How much room would $65 billion in cash take up? That's like various warehouses, right? Like at least 10 warehouses full of cash.
That's a great question. I'm going to look into it.
That's a great question. How do you get that amount if you're making a cash purchase? All right, so, Mike, explain this to me again. Hold on a second. Let's back away from the microphones. There's some hot stuff here.
I'm guessing you wire it. Pretty hefty wiring fee, too. What do you think?
I prefer to think of it as a cash transaction because it's funnier to imagine. Yes, ultimately, this becomes a lot less fun if you ruin it the way Stugotz just did by hitting send or receive, and boom, there's $65 billion.
How would you move that? Like, you can't just say, look, this block of warehouses full of all your cash. No, you'd have to put it probably in trucks, right? And then you'd have to move it. And then, of course, that leads to potential heist situations. So there's got to be armored cars around all these trucks that's moving $65 billion in cash. You can't move it during the day. It has to be moved at night, I'm assuming.
Somebody do the math. Somebody in the audience will do the math of how it is that we would transport this imaginary, not wired 65. What does really the question becomes, what does $65 billion in actual dollar bills weigh? That's what the question is. What does it weigh, and how? Because can we put it all in a couple of trucks?
I'm reading this.
No, a couple of trucks. No.
I'm reading this press release that ABC News' Twitter handle posted. It appears to be from the Walt Disney Company, and it says
appears to be.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's ABC News. In-house. So
there's no sharks on that account, though. It's not.
This does not appear to be a Russian bot. It's verified at ABC. This is a 50% cash and 50% stock deal that's been signed. The stock consideration is expected to be tax-free. All right, so it's basically cash stock that 50% of this deal, according to this press release, says.
All right, so can we back away from the microphones and just sort of marvel at what an economy this stupid thing is? That at the height of the mountaintop where entertainment is changing every day at a rapid pace, and Walt Disney has been the name in that entertainment for a long time. Walt Disney is trying to buy sports. Finish it. Like, we will buy all sports throughout this land and internationally. The televised games, they will be ours. And that bid climbed fast. I don't know anything about business, but those numbers with all cash bids that we're trying to figure out how to transport in trucks. I mean, Jason Statham's got to be there, right? Right, Guillermo? I mean, what this thing that you're imagining, this heist that you're imagining?
Statham's really more of a protector than he is a criminal. He's not really blue collar crime guy. He's like the guy that protects the crime, and he's a finisher. If you need something done, you go to Statham, but he's not just going to steal $650 million, $65 billion, whatever it is.
So he's the guy preventing the money from being stolen. He's in one of the head cars, is what you're saying?
He's likely to be one of the drivers of the truck. Down on his luck, not making much money at the time, but he's one of the drivers of the truck transporting the $65 billion. And then shenanigans will occur. A Vin Diesel type will come and try to steal the money, and then Statham's going to have to fend him off. And then he's going to end up somehow. This is how the movie's going to end. Somehow.
Oh,
no. Well, there's going to be, fights, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be a missing truck. Statham's going to end up with it, and he's going to take care of his family or whoever, like, the downtrodden person is in the movie. At the end, he's going to find the missing truck, and he's going to be set for life. But he's also going to save the company, which would be Fox here, right? They're the ones getting all the money. He's going to save them all the money that they're getting, minus one truck, the one missing that he's going to end up with.
$1 million in $100 bills weighs 22 pounds. So we just got to do. So we got to do some math from there. I'll get back to you.
All right. Well, that's good though. You got in quick. We're part of the way to the equation. Way to get in there. Not an answer really, but something you tossed our way. All right. Let's keep chasing the math on that one. We're close. Just now got to divide some millions into some billions. But you're on it. Facts and info.
You were mentioning that this was a lot of money to come together in a short period of time, but every indication says Walt Disney knew that Comcast was going to get in on the heels of that AT&T Time Warner deal being approved. So they've had months to develop this attack plan. Disney knows what they're doing, apparently,
Wow. There's precious little proof of that around here.
65 billion is 65,000 million, right? Technically? I think it's 65,000 million. So we just do 22 pounds times 65,000, right? So it's like 22. I think it's 65,000 times 22 pounds. That's not a lot. Like you think $1 million weighed more than that,
radio,
right?
Though this can't be good radio. Doing math on air, it simply can't be.
That's 1.4 million pounds.
No, that can't be right. 65,000 times 22.
All right, we are doing math on the radio.
More money, more problems.
All right, that math sounds...
Carry the two.
That math sounds like more money.
I want it to weigh more. We're going to go 5s or 20s, not hundreds.
Mike Ryan alleged that the Disney Corporation knows what it's doing. Did you have any proof of that at the end of that segment?
Dan Le Batard.
Metal nets have to be right up there with like ice skates as the most dangerous things that people do to play sports, right? Because you know that the people that are buying those metal nets are largely kids. And if they have a hoop that they lower, it's like at 7 feet tall and they're just dunking on them. And you know the fingers are getting stuck in those nets.
Stugotz.
In track and field, the gun they shoot off, that's kind of dangerous, no?
It's not an actual gun.
I don't think
it's a starter pistol. It doesn't shoot anything out.
I know it doesn't actually shoot a bullet. Nothing comes out of it?
No.
Just a sound.
Yeah.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
All right, so I have been trying for a little bit here during a slow sports time to get this lumbering ego beast up into the sky. So today we could soar through content and sports and delight the masses on an empty day. And Guillermo and Chris decided to sabotage that last segment by doing math poorly on the radio and just sabotaging the whole thing before it got into the sky. So let me try this from another angle, because I've been trying to disentangle what Guillermo did during the local hour for about 45 minutes. Guillermo, a clumsy executive here at ESPN, Guillermo seems to have stumbled into during the local hour, during his campaign, to get to get Lewis Brinson into the All-Star game. Okay, now we've got a situation with promising things on the radio, on the air, and Guillermo was bribing people with terrible books that people send us. So we don't know if we've committed some sort of radio infraction. It happened because Guillermo just putzes around and falls down around here all the time. So where are we with this? Is it now climbs up the ESPN ladder to get into the corporate offices where we get in trouble for the things you did on the microphone? Where are we in that process?
Well, first, just a quick correction. I don't think that is a completely fair assessment of what happened. These books are not terrible. These are great books. I'm telling you right now. We have a Bear Grylls book here. We have a Ray Allen book here. Here's something that I didn't think would happen. I said that we could, possibly hypothetically send books to people if they voted for Louis Brinson a certain amount of times. 100 votes, I think, was what I said.
But did you say the possibly and the hypothetically? Did you like that?
I don't remember. That was a long time ago. But here's the thing.
Attaboy.
A lot of people ended up doing this, and we only have one Bear Grylls book. So I could send you individual pages if you'd like, hypothetically send you individual pages or just portions of the book, or I could send you different books. We have different books here. We have Us Against You by Frederick Backman, which seems like a nice book. So we have different books, hypothetically, that I could send to you if you vote.
All right, hold on. Because you're going to get us in trouble. And this is not the time to be getting in trouble. Did you not hear the last segment where we were talking about billions of dollars being thrown across the table from Comcast to Disney? Who's got more cash? I don't know if you can carry it. How many trucks do we need? Bad Math Radio at the bottom of the Disney entertainment ladder.
34.75 trucks.
That's it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we also said the wrong amount. It wasn't 65. It's reportedly 71. So we've been calculating the wrong number the whole time.
Right.
But wait a minute. So so
it might be more trucks is what you're saying.
Yeah, it'd be a couple more trucks. Again, Jason Statham driving one. I would say he's driving truck 4. He's not truck 1. He's like truck somewhere in the 4 to 9 range.
You want to hide a guy like him, right? You don't want him in a front truck. You want him in a truck where people aren't suspecting that he'll be, right? Like the baddest guy protecting the money. You want to hide that guy.
Oh, no, but he's not the baddest guy. He's the overlooked guy who has the badness in him when he needs to bring the badness out, which is a time of need where, ultimately something's going to happen and he's going to turn to someone named, Mike or whatever. Get in, Mike, and he's going to have to bring him into the truck.
I've been waiting for that impersonation for how many segments? And instead what you give me is Bad Math Radio last segment.
Get in, Mickey.
How long did it take us to coax that impersonation out of you? How long? Because I only mentioned Statham to get you to that terrible impersonation.
35 minutes and 50 seconds.
17 damn minutes ago.
Efficient.
Get in, Goofy. Get in, Daisy.
Keep going. How many characters? Help him out, guys. How many characters can you find?
Get in, Woody.
I'll just filibuster here. You tell me when you need a microphone. When you need a microphone open so you can get in here.
Get in, Bambi. Bambi. Wow. Bambi's mom. Bambi's going to be someone you don't want to mess with on this transport.
We gotta stay in character.
Get in, Christopher Robin.
You guys are back there bobbing and weaving.
Get in, Olaf. That would be like the cold portion. Olaf would be on the side of the road or picking up Olaf. Olaf's from Frozen, that movie. You saw Frozen, right?
I did not. Stugotz, did you see Frozen?
Of course I did, yes.
Tell me about it. I don't know anything about Frozen.
I slept through it. I went with my kids. I just acted like I was watching, but I wasn't watching.
Get in, Mickey Mouse ice cream.
It's a good song in Frozen, though, right?
Well, tell me about it, because I haven't heard.
I can't remember the name of the song. I'm looking it up right now. I think
between you and me, we're the Frozen experts right now.
Yeah, let it go. Let it go. I have a terrible voice, but that's the song, yes.
Idina Menzel.
Yes.
All right.
Well, get in, Ariel. On our way to Space Mountain.
All right. Well, now we got it. Hold on. The rhythms are coming now. I'm going to filibuster. Let's see. You gather everything that you need over there because Mike knows what he needs. Mike is looking for it right now, and I'm sorry. I am letting the audience look behind the curtain here. It doesn't normally show. The machinery doesn't normally show, but there it is. We're in the right place now.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
That, of course, is John Gotti, the creepy and disgusting John Travolta as John Gotti.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
Get in, Gaston.
It took so long. Why did it take so long to get the rhythms there?
Get in, Elena Vavalor.
Mike, just keep playing it play it like music. You come back, give him the amount of time that he needs to come up with the funny names from the crew. Roy, they need your help here. Everybody, gang, everybody. Allyson, call people. Give him some help here. You go back and forth with John Travolta here between your limited fake Jason Statham from your dreams and John Gotti.
Please welcome the wickedly talented.
Get in, Mulan.
One and only.
Get in, Aurora.
Adele Dazeem.
Get in, Jasmine.
Adele Dazeem.
Get in, Pocahontas.
Adele
Get in, Tiana.
Dazeem.
Get in, Cinderella.
Please welcome.
Get in, Snow White.
The wickedly talented.
Get in, Rapunzel.
One and only.
Get in, Dopey.
Adele Dazeem.
Get in, Doc.
Dazeem.
Get in, Happy.
Dazeem.
Get in, Sleepy.
Dazeem.
Get in, Belle.
Dazeem.
Get in, Genie.
Adele
Get in,
Dazeem.
Buzz Lightyear.
No! Mike buried you at the end. It's not fair. It was the man against the machine.
Get in,
More money,
Potato Head.
more problems.
No! Fight's over. Fight's over. You couldn't keep up. Limited fake Jason Statham from Guillermo's dream.
Get in, Coco.
Mike, the person listening to that and sports radio on ESPN for the first time tuning into our show, can you just explain it in 30 seconds so I don't have to do it? Can you just explain to just the newcomers who don't understand our show and just can't possibly understand what the hell we were just doing unless you're listening every day and addicted to every element of this show and care what Guillermo dreams about, and that those dreams would include a Jason Statham that sounded only like that.
Get in, Jack Sparrow.
Useless. Just useless. Like so inside, so many layers of inside. Mike, just explain the joke one time for the people who are new to the gather.
Please welcome the wickedly talented, one and only Adele Dazeem.
Get in, Lightning McQueen.
Oh, stop. All right. No.
Because a guy just texted in. Someone just texted in, just tuned in, and I'm so damn confused.
Yeah, you got to catch up, and there's... you want to let him inside, though, Stugotz.
I know. You can't explain everything, man. You can't.
Do you want to do a better job maintaining your health? Turn to the experts at GNC
Get in, Darkwing Duck.
to guide you
Scrooge McDuck.
to the right vitamins and supplements.
Donald Duck.
Talk to him, Stugotz.
Get in, Huey. Louie.
Did you know that with GNC's Auto Deliver
Dewey.
and Save,
Goof Troop.
you don't have to worry about missing a daily dose of your favorite vitamins and supplements?
Get in, Gummy Bears.
That's right.
Red One.
Once you set up your free subscription,
Get in, Mowgli.
GNC takes care of the rest.
Get in, Mufasa.
Shipping your products
Simba.
free of charge
Nala.
and with 10% off
Timon.
the order.
Get in, Pumbaa.
Not to mention,
Get in, Iago.
you'll never pay a membership fee,
Get in, Jafar.
and you can change your order at any time.
Get in, Jasmine's dad, whose name I forgot.
Stay stocked with GNC's Auto Deliver and Save.
Get in, Hyenas.
Quality shipped,
Get in, Rapunzel.
wellness delivered.
Get in, Dumbo Ride.
Visit GNC.com
Get in, Gaston. Did not already.
or a store near you
Get in, Cinderella's castle.
to learn more.
Splash Mountain.
I'm a one-trick pony. Literally. I show up at kids' parties and act cute. That's pretty much it. So excuse me for being bitter. When Geico says not only could we save you money on car insurance, but we do more. Like give you 24/7 access online, over the phone, or even via our award-winning mobile app. Well, ooh la la. Aren't they multi-talented? Hey, I said organic carrots.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Don Le Batard.
I had a dream last night about the show that Stugotz was filling in for Joe Buck on his podcast, and Allyson called me to tell me what a great job Stugotz did. And I realized this is a dream because Allyson would never praise Stugotz. Stugotz would never fill in for Joe Buck's podcast that may or may not even exist.
And if I did, it wouldn't be good.
Factually, a lot of factual errors in your dream.
What a weird dream.
Yeah.
Stugotz.
So that's the height of your fantasies, Guillermo.
Well, maybe it was a nightmare. I don't know. It happened when I was asleep.
Thank you, Guillermo.
That's how dreams work.
Yep.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Before the end of the workday, Guillermo, I would like to figure out whether we on the air in your bumbling about and stumbling about have gotten into actual radio trouble, what we need to walk back, what we have to discuss with executives about what happened in the local hour so I don't emerge from whatever it is that we do today and end up in a bunch of meetings because you bribed people with books, and now Major League Baseball doesn't like that because they've got a partnership with ESPN, and this is embarrassing. They're trying to put Brinson in the All-Star game. Now they're breaking whatever the FCC rules are now because they're bribing people with books for votes. Like, what are the rules? You didn't check with anybody on anything.
I'd just say clear your schedule this afternoon is what I'd say to you. That's my advice to you is there will be meetings and I mean, you're the one going to them, not me. So I'd just clear your schedule if I were you.
Now you got more messes to clean up, man.
All right. So in the middle of this, because Guillermo is always kicking over buckets and then everyone's got to clean everything up. His neurosis spills over into everything. Mike Ryan is trying to help, but he's under the weather. Mike Ryan is toughing it out today. He's sick. He sounds kind of smoky, kind of sensual because he's fallen in love with the Moroccan coach. And we haven't talked enough today about how handsome Ronaldo is, and how much more handsome he is when he scores 4 goals. And we want to get back to that bust conversation as well. But I keep getting sidetracked by things, and Mike's trying to help. And so Mike, ever the producer, always working, just sort of whispers through his smoky, foggy voice, Sepp Blatter. I hear it through a fog as I'm, dealing with egomaniacal things.
Can you recreate that? I'd like to hear how you delivered that.
Sepp Blatter.
Yeah, and I was just walking. I was barely listening. I've got very important things to do and make up. Blah, 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 blah.
The way that David Caruso would say it.
Can you stay like this?
Well, but this is
it's working.
No, the smoky central producer who tricks me into content.
Yes.
You see what's going on with Sepp Blatter.
All right, go to the end. You know what? I'm going to leave the room. I'm going to watch you work from another room as this smoky character. Please tell me what's going on with Sepp Blatter.
So, guess who showed up at the World Cup despite a 6-year World Cup ban? That's right. Sepp Blatter. And it only gets better from here, Vladimir Putin's personal guest. So I was asking myself, how is this allowed? He's got a 6-year ban. He can't be showing up to World Cup events. And then I realized, Putin. That's how. Personal invited guest. And all of this was just an excuse to play this amazing Sepp Blatter sound from a couple of years ago when he won the election despite a whirlwind of scandal around him and gave one of the most trollerific acceptance speeches.
Let me tell you, I like you. You brought me again into the FIFA. I stay with you. You have voted for me. Although they have voted for the Prince Ali, I congratulate you. It's a good candidate. But I'm now the president of everybody. So I'm the president of everybody. There is no reticence. That's just president of the whole FIFA. Voila.
All right. Now, how do we describe the look of this man? He kind of looks like a soap bubble, right? An arrogant soap bubble?
Let me tell you.
A Smurf. A bit of a Smurf, yes?
He kind of looks like Gargamel.
Yes.
From the Smurfs.
Mm-hmm.
And sounds
I like you. I like you. I like you.
That's more Borat.
I like you.
That's not Gargamel Smurf cute. That's Borat sensual creepy.
You brought me again into the FIFA. I stay with you. You have voted for me.
It's the greatest dismount in the history of speeches, is it not?
Although they have voted for the Prince Ali, I congratulate you. It's a good candidate. But I'm now the president of everybody.
That's right. That's right. Go bleep yourself, baby. I don't care if you think I look or sound like a Smurf.
So I'm the president of everybody.
That's right.
There is no reticence. That's just president of the whole FIFA.
Of the whole thing. Of the whole thing.
Voila.
Voila! Some soap bubble hips in your face.
Voila.
There it is. World Cup, biggest thing in the history of the world sports.
Voila.
And we're celebrating it now.
I like you.
Every day.
Voila.
Even though it's totally bankrupt and corrupt.
Voila.
The whole thing.
Voila.
Led by that guy.
Stugotz here. There's nothing small about your business, your passion, your hours, your reputation. It's all huge. Your partnerships, even bigger. With Dell Small Business Technology Advisors, you'll get the tech, advice, and one-on-one partnership to help your business grow. Because with reliable Dell PCs with Intel Core processors, you can focus on what matters most, getting business done. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL. Listen up, people. We have a big favor to ask, and we promise it won't take up too much of your time. You know, our show is supported by some fantastic sponsors, right? Well, we'd love to hear your feedback. Head to ESPNpodcaststudy.com and fill out a short, anonymous survey. That's it. We swear, again, that's ESPNpodcaststudy.com.
Dan Le Batard.
You want me to get real?
Stugotz.
I'll get real.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. Guests on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Let's throw it to Mike for a World Cup date.
Just underway. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia versus Uruguay. Uruguay should run away with this game, considering Saudi Arabia lost 5-0 to the host nation, Russia, in the first game.
To the nil?
5-0.
All right.
We're expecting a goal fest from Uruguay today, but they didn't play well against Egypt. Certainly not as well as Russia did yesterday. So hopefully Uruguay can show the form that has a lot of people predicting them making a deep run in this tournament.
This World Cup update is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. Think ahead. Think advance.
Should I just have sexy music playing underneath me the entire time? Is this working?
Hold on. Yes. Shouldn't that be a World Cup date? Shouldn't you call that a World?
Well, I threw it to him as a World Cup date, and then I read it, how the sponsor wants me to read it on the back end.
Mike, I'm with you on this. I'm with you. If we're going to create this character is what? Smoky, sensual Mike, who people like better than the actual Mike.
It's David Caruso lowering his shades. That's what this is.
Okay.
This is Silk Stockings.
Oh, so you think it should have music every time this character deigns to speak and come over here and give? But what's he doing? Giving sports analysis?
There's a cigarette hanging out the bottom of his mouth.
I know, but am I supposed to ask him for a take? All right, this is what I'll do.
Not touching the top lip there.
No, but it's somehow staying on.
You should do the World Cup date again, but with music underneath it. Test it out.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's start it over again. All right. ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance, with insurance.
Shut your mouth.
All right, let's throw it to Mike for a World Cup.
Let me take this from you, Debbie. Uruguay and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia just getting underway. Many are expecting this to be a goal fest from Edison Cavani and Luis Suarez for Uruguay to finally show their form.
Suarez is the biter, yes?
He's a biter. I'm not sure what accent that was. He sounded like a French chef.
What's that?
A bit weird.
I don't know. I'm Hispanic.
This is weird. You also called soccer a little earlier in the week.
It's
while you were doing his Hispanic
this whole World Cup thing.
With an A and an apostrophe?
Yeah, but while you were doing Hispanic accent, it was just ultra confusing. It was more confusing than John Travolta's accent.
As I get rinsed out by the Disney machine, I get less and less Hispanic is what happens.
Did you ever see John Travolta play Bob Shapiro in The People vs. O.J.? That's how much your accent is wavering.
All right, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Want to try a different song here?
No, let's start again, and I'm sorry that I got...
Well, tell me how you want me to do this. You don't want me to throw it to you? You're just going to go here?
Just let me take this.
All right, just hold on just a second here before we head down this path. I just want people to know that Keegan-Michael Key is going to join us here in 30 minutes. He's always fun to talk to. And Ron Magill of Zoo Miami is going to join us in an hour to talk about the animals. He is a delightful human being, and he does a lot of good work on behalf of the animals. We love him, and in an hour we will do that segment with him. Now, allow me to back away, and again, let's start over. Now, Mike is smoky and sensual just because he saw the Moroccan coach today, right? This is where this whole thing began today?
Yeah, I lost my voice catcalling Hervé Renard.
Oh, what was his name? That's right.
Hervé Renard.
How do you spell it? Hervé?
Hervé. Horny. Renard.
Did you just spell horny?
Did I?
I don't know.
This is a matinee game, of course. Earlier in the morning, Portugal played Morocco. As you know, Morocco, one of the most exotic locations featured in the World Cup. Skippered by our one true leader, Hervé Renard. In his white button-down dress shirt that was pressed. Yes, he was dressed to the nines. And I was getting undressed to the midnights. Not to be outdone, Cristiano Ronaldo pulled up his shorts.
So sexy.
Before a direct free kick.
Oh,
man.
I don't know if the ball went in or not, but I was digging it. Also, Cristiano, vascular.
Oh.
World Cup Date is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. Think ahead, think advance. Mike Hoffman was traded twice Tuesday morning, going from the Senators to the Sharks to the Panthers, nearly a week after allegations surfaced that his fiancée harassed Ottawa captain Erik Karlsson's wife online. What? And finally, Elon Musk emailed his Tesla employees on Sunday night, alleging there was a saboteur within the company's ranks. Musk alleged this employee tweaked code on internal products and sent company data out without authorization.
I'll get to the bottom of this. I'm Elon Musk.
For all the latest headlines and information, tune in the Sports Center on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
All right, hold on. Let me explain a couple things to the audience. I know you hate it when I explain the jokes. Just let me for a second. It's a slow time, okay? We're all just gawking at the Moroccan coach.
Yeah.
It's a slow time if you don't care to do soccer sports radio. We can't do soccer. Soccer.
Call him by his name. I want to hear you say it. Hervé
Renard. Hervé Renard. And so we've all been swooning since we met him. You can hear it in my voice.
Mm-hmm.
And the show is teetering here in a space that is uncomfortably about arousal at 11 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time. So, Mike, this sensual, smoky Mike character that you have created, can he take questions on other things? Like, will this work with the right music if I just ask him, like, the sports question of the day? Because I'd like to try that, but is that a reach?
Ask me your sports question du jour.
All right. So I've got in front of me the script today for 4:30 Eastern, highly questionable. There are a list of questions. We will answer them. My father will guffaw, pick up his shirt, show you his belly, maybe pick up a banana phone, and the Levitard cash registers ring. It is beautiful music. So the first question on that show today, highly questionable, 4:30 Eastern on ESPN. Can you recklessly speculate about the significance of Pop's meetings with Kawhi? That is the first question for smoky, sensual Mike, this character that has fallen in love with the Moroccan coach and doesn't mind if everyone knows it.
First thing Pop does is pull out a chair. Second thing he does is step behind the chair. Kawhi and his people slide into the chair. Then you light a candle. And you ask the waitress, or waiter, it's 2018, for their finest of Cabernets. What is that you say? Too hot for a Cabernet? We can order your finest Pinot Noir. Then you order some escargot as an impressive alpha move to show that you're not afraid of anything, including a trade to the Lakers. Then you get Danny Ainge on the phone and say, I'm going to have to call you back. I'm at dinner. And you never break eye contact with Kawhi or his people.
All right, hold on.
More, please.
Yes, please. More for the rest of time.
Yes.
Like, just not
Go
just.
right down
all right,
the
hold
list.
on. Let me get the second question, so I don't have to do any work at all today.
What an easy show this is.
Mike said he was going to talk less today. Mike said he was going to talk less today. Said he wasn't feeling well. Said he couldn't do much today.
The lights go on, man. It's the most he's ever spoken.
Okay.
You all right?
I had a private. All right, hold on a second. I had a private meeting with Mike. 30 seconds of warmth and caring. And like my father before me, I just looked at him and said, "You look like bleep." He's sick.
And you told me to put on a mask.
Yeah.
So there was a conversation in the back room, I'm not making this up, in which I was saying to Guillermo and Chris, the incompetent ones, the incompetent twins back there, I was saying to them, can you guys get Mike a surgical mask? And they bumped into each other and fell down and then called for Allyson. And we still don't have a surgical mask for Mike, who is coughing on everyone.
Chris found a sling for his arm.
He did. That's true. Chris did pull up. Chris went into the boxes back there at the height of entertainment. He went back there and reached into the boxes and pulled out. There it is. Yes, a Cardinals helmet. Uselessly.
So Mike told you he wasn't going to be able to perform well, be able to talk today. It's his flu game.
All right, let's do it, Mike. You ready? Should the Grizzlies pass on Mo Bamba just because he doesn't want to play for them?
First thing you do is you go to a restaurant. You pull out a chair.
You did that already.
You slide behind the chair and allow 7'8" Mo Bamba to sit in that chair. And then you sit across the table, light a candle. Never breaking eye contact with Mo Bamba. And you ask Mo Bamba, how come Texas wasn't better? You're huge. Texas should have been a lot better. But we'll get to that later. Again, never breaking eye contact. What is that, a server? Man or woman? It's 2018. Who cares? You can be pansexual. Who knows? Anyways, I'd like your finest Bordeaux, because Mo Bamba looks like he enjoys a Bordeaux. They'll bring out the Chateau Latif, and you laugh. I'm not drinking Chateau Latif.
I mean, Mike, I don't understand how you're this good at this. I want to do it for the rest of time. I've got so many more questions that are better. Your answers are so much better than any I've heard. One more question, Mike. One more. Allow me one more. You ready? I'm nervous now. All right. How should Gronk feel about more news that he was shopped to 4 teams that the Patriots, quote, unquote, trust?
You're with Rob Gronkowski, and you go to the finest of Hooters. You pull out his stool, and you have him sit in the stool. You slide it back under his tush. You walk across him, sitting at the tabletop. Get to the paper towels out of the way. You look into his eyes. Your server comes over, and you order the finest of Monster Energy drinks and say, I'll have 3 rounds of the buffalo shrimp. And he'll say, and it's all settled.
I don't know if people are enjoying this, but we are.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Someone texted in goodbye forever.
That's okay. We don't mind making you uncomfortable because we talk about the things other sports shows won't. Talk about the naughty nether regions.
You want me to call you a cab? Texter that says they're leaving? Let me call you a cab. Speaking of cab, how about some of this Cabernet from Napa Valley? Silver Oak. It's a good year.
Time for Dan to reluctantly take part in something Stugotz couldn't be happier doing.
Prevent your tires from rolling off of your car by getting lug nuts at Advance Auto Parts. We're telling you all the time, support the people who support us. What are you laughing about, Stugotz?
Just
Was there a cat call in the middle of this ad?
There was, yeah. I'm just laughing. Phil Mickelson has felt the need to apologize to everyone.
Oh, for the love of God. We'll get to that in a second. That's going to ruin what we were doing.
If you're Phil Mickelson, you take out the assembled media. Take him to this finest Italian restaurant in Beverly Hills. It's called Lefty's. It's yours. Alpha move. Slide out the chair for the assembled media. Sit them in. Get something from Chateau Margaux, preferably 1998 Peak Reserve, and you'll be forgiven.
Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
I'm going to eat my wings with blue cheese, and a lot of it, and I'm going to come in here with blue cheese on my face and a couple of napkins. And too bad. Stop complaining about it.
Stugotz.
No one told you can't eat wings. You decided that on your own. That's a you choice, not a me choice. It was a me choice, an us choice. We'd be eating wings every day. We'd both have we'd be slathered in blue cheese, both you and I.
We'd be slathering it on each other?
Yes, that's my dream.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
You know Keegan-Michael Key, they have, and I always make it they with him, right? Because I still do that even though they've got separate careers.
Right.
But Key and Peele were playing a different comedy game than most people, doing skits and building. Like, it's cool to see what has become of Key and Peele creatively as they got some of the cool things that come with creative success. Both, like, the choices that they get to make,
sure,
the movies they get to make, what it is that, because they've taken different paths, and I'm curious, I don't know if you are, as Keegan-Michael Key, and he seems like he's the fun one. I don't know, right? If I ask the audience, Mike, do you know in fact, Guillermo, put it on the poll. Do you know which one is Key and which one's Peele? Because they get it all the time. They get it all the time. Both of them do.
I think what they get most often is people pointing to them and thinking Key and Peele is one person. Like, hey, Key and Peele.
They kind of are, though. I mean, right? You can't say Key without saying Peele.
What, Chris? What are you waving your hands?
They're not at all the same person, though. They have two totally different career paths.
Kind of, though.
No, now they've broken apart because one of them is.
But we're still calling them Key and Peele.
No, but here is why this is broken apart. Because one of the things that we can't wait to talk to Keegan-Michael Key about is, so your partner, he's gone on to make a movie with a budget that made Hollywood explode. It was a racial horror movie. It was licensed for him to now create whatever he wants out of that, because as a writer, director, producer, he created Get Out, a genre of horror none of us had seen before about racism at the perfect time, made like $90 million immediately. And so now he can write his own ticket. And Keegan-Michael Key is in a remake of The Predator.
It's not a remake, Dan. It's a sequel.
Wow.
Technically.
That's a fine.
It exists in the same universe.
Apologize.
I think that's my fault because I told you that he was remaking The Predator, because I don't know anything about The Predator, but I know you guys are obsessed with The Predator, so I relayed that information incorrectly.
Taking the blame for Dan's mistakes, that's a fine now.
Why is it a fine?
Let Dan let him drown on his own there. Yes.
That's not a fine. I'm owning it, Stugotz. Something you could do sometimes.
Okay.
Woof.
Oh!
I mean, no reason to go there, but I'm glad you did. I mean, you're right.
That was a slicing, parting comment that was like the flesh wound on Buscemi's face in Fargo.
Been holding that in for a while.
Woo!
Man.
That was a cruel sickle from what may or may not be our Grim Reaper.
It seems like she wanted to take the blame just to take a shot at Stugotz.
That was weird, right?
Wow.
I know. I don't know how to feel about Allyson, man. I mean, privately, she says, how great our relationship is and she loves me. You guys heard it yesterday, right? And then she comes on the air and does that. I don't know how to feel. Liar.
When did I privately say that? Tell me when that is. Yesterday you said that. I didn't say it. You hugged me, kissed me, and said, I love you. You guys all saw it. It happened yesterday.
I'm pretty certain I have a text here saying, I love you, Stugotz.
Yeah, but was it sarcastic?
No.
Was it? How can you tell through text?
Yeah.
It was, I could, just tell the vibe of the conversation,
Okay.
Do you love him or not?
Let me check. Well, clearly she does not. I mean, you guys know I love her, but she does not love me.
Well,
do we know that?
Where do the Kentucky Fried Chickens go in on this? Is there a verdict on who's right and who's wrong here?
I mean, they're on Stugotz's side. I mean, are you serious?
chicken
I mean,
thigh.
like they have Stugotz emblazoned on their body.
That's a good point. That's true. Yeah.
Keep me out of this. I can't do a chicken voice.
Well, I asked for to make it to the cage. He said, this is the one no one wants seen on for some reason. Read the straight talk later. Wow! Read the straight talk later. Allyson did say she loves him. Allyson did say she loves him. Read the straight talk.
I have the text.
Read the text. Read the text later.
Get 3 Murrays. My mom is going through her club book for Addison and broke it. I knew this would work.
Get to the point.
We should drop them in randomly. Funny, you're the best, even though you flipped me the bird 4 times today. Sorry, love you though.
I'm more confused than I ever was.
Should have probably just started with the I love you part.
Well, I had to set up the conversation so you knew that the I love you was for real. It's a real I love you. Wasn't a throwaway line. She loves me.
Don Le Batard.
I don't know anything.
Stugotz.
I don't remember what I was going to talk about, so in those instances, what I have is a default that just makes fun of Stugotz.
You're welcome.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
I love talking to this dude. Every time I speak to him, it's a little bit warmer. If I see him on television, it is a place that feels better when he gets there. Keegan-Michael Key has a cool energy about him. He's got Hotel Transylvania 3. Summer Vacation is in theaters July 13th, and we will talk about that. But Keegan-Michael Key, are you as obsessed, and thank you for joining us, with I just can't believe that Predator means to you what it means to me. That the whole absurdity of that movie, if I could just spend this entire segment talking Predator with you, it would be a career achievement.
A career achievement? Oh, that's so sweet of you to say, Dan. Yeah, I could talk to you every day for every single segment for a week about Predator.
Let's do it.
And Predator and all of its installments. All the Alien versus Predators, the Predator's last movie, Predator 2, the crazy drug-fueled Danny Glover movie. I could talk to you about all of the Predators. I'm a big fan.
Well, can we please figure out a way to do this then? I would like to now hire him and just do the interview process for getting this big Hollywood star to come on with us and talk about Predator, because I'm not kidding you, I could do weekly updates on this.
We know.
From every angle. So let's figure out how to do this.
Okay, we'll figure out. Yeah, maybe I should just do the show once a week, every week until Predator comes out, and then we'll do a post-mortem after it comes out in September. Then we can just talk about it every day after it. I would like to. Hey, we start our own podcast. We'll get it worked out.
We're going to figure this out because I need to figure this out.
All right.
But who was your favorite of the mercenaries? You can only pick one.
If I can only pick one, my favorite of the mercenaries is and I'm not saying this just because he directed this new Predator movie, but my favorite person was Shane Black. Was Shane Black, who's the first one to die, the guy with the big glasses. So Shane Black, who wrote this movie and directed this movie, also of Lethal Weapon fame. He wrote Lethal Weapon. He wrote The Last Boy Scout. He wrote Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I love in the beginning when he's reading the comic books and he tells the jokes. He's my favorite guy. He's also the first one to die. So he, you kind of long for him for the rest of the movie. I never understood the relationship between Carl Weathers and there was something about the relationship between Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger that was always fascinating to me. But he doesn't count as a mercenary, right? So you can't Carl Weathers might have been one of my favorite characters in the movie, but you can't count him because he wasn't in that group.
Okay, now we need to analyze. And
that was
please,
a great breakdown.
Well, no, I'm telling you, I cannot get enough of this. But when you mention Carl Weathers, there is one scene in that movie I think that comes to mind. If you've got two, they're both involving his arm. But the one I'm thinking of, yes, the one so there are two scenes in the movie involving Carl Weathers. One is the way that he shakes hands with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the other one, and spoiler alert, is when he gets his arm chopped off and it continues to fire the machine gun. Please give us your best minute on that.
That's the best. My favorite. My brother and I, for years and years, whenever we were apart from each other, I'd be at school. Whenever we saw each other again, when I go home to Detroit, we always go, Dylan, and do the thing with the arms. Every single time, because it's one of those great. Here's the thing I love about '80s movies in general, but definitely Predator. First of all, I know that the correct answer to your first question is supposed to be Jesse the Body Ventura, but I always want to buck the trend. Always want to buck the trend. I'm going to pick. In fact, I go Shane Black and Bill Duke over Jesse Ventura.
What?
Yeah,
Whoa!
I just said it.
What?
Just said it,
you
Dan.
did.
So let's talk about that for 5 more minutes. Bill Duke has a hell of an acting turn in this movie because he goes crazy at the end of the movie, and his performance. It gets so nihilistic and dark at the end when he starts losing his mind, and you can barely see him in the dark.
Hold on. You'll appreciate this. Hold on.
Anytime.
Anytime. Yeah, and I love when he in the beginning of the movie when he breaks the razor on his face. He's like shaving and the blood comes, because he's dry shaving because he's so tough. He's so cool. But I'm sorry. The thing about '80s movies that I love so much, especially Predator, is there's no irony in those movies. You know how in the turn of this, like when we started the 21st century, and like even in the late 90s, people started winking at the tropes in the action movies, and nobody did that. Remember Commando? Commando is like the schlockiest, campiest movie of that genre. But Predator is so sincere and so stark. It's part of why I love it, because they're never making fun of themselves as these huge meatheads. Since we're talking about Hunter Strickland earlier, in this meathead world, you know what I mean? They were playing it to the nth degree. It was that kind of like when men were men type of situation, and there's no winking at all. And that's part of why I like the movie so much.
All right, I don't know are you on a tour? Because I can't talk to you enough about this. He's got Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. It's in theaters July 13th.
I think he's talking to us again tomorrow.
I just can't talk to him enough.
I'm calling in. Yeah, I'm flying tomorrow, but I'm going to call you from the plane, and we're going to work this out.
But because I've got so many questions. Did you realize that like Van Damme was the original Predator? That you know these stories of Van Damme wanted to do a lot of kicks. Oh, you know this story.
I know the story about him wanting to do the kicks, and I know the story about him being the original Predator. Then something happened that I'm missing because I'm trying to. There's another tidbit, right, Dan, to the story that he was originally in the costume. He wanted to do the kicks, and then something else happened. Or did he? He got fired unrepentantly by somebody who said, "No, but the character Predator, this is how I see him." And he's like, "All right, you're fired." The director just said, "Okay, you're fired. I'll get a new Predator." He's not. That's right. He opened it. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm excited.
Oh, and he said, "Kiss my testicles," and walked off. That was another detail. Yeah, that was another one of the details.
Now that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut. That part I did not know. The other thing, if I may, about Shane Black that you may not know. So Shane Black's the first person to die in the first movie. They hang him up. Remember, the Predator hangs him up and trusses him up in the trees, right? And all the crows, the ravens are around the body. So that body cast, they use that body cast again in Predator 2 when Danny Glover's running through the warehouse and there's all the chains hanging from the warehouse.
Predator 2 was so bad. Keegan-Michael.
I can't believe you sat through that, man.
Keegan-Michael, Predator 2 was so bad.
But Dan, I agree. I'm just giving you a small tidbit of trivia about how do you understand? In 1988 or 1991, when I saw that movie, I guess I was 19 or 18 when I saw that movie. So my tastes certainly were different. I'm going to sit here on national radio and admit that I didn't know it was bad at the time. But it's one of the worst.
Let's look back on it now as grown-ups, though, because you enjoy this reminiscing so much. Let's think about this. Now that you've actually been through the Hollywood machine and can laugh at some of this crud that's all around it, This is actually what happened. Predator's hot. L.A. riots are hot. Let's put them together. Boom. Movie magic, baby.
Oh, and also, let's not forget Jamaicans. Jamaicans were also hot at the time.
Yes, dangerous Jamaicans. They were in Bad Boys. They were in one of the Bad Boys. Shannon Briggs was in one of them.
Yep. And remember the clothes? Remember the clothes in Predator 2?
We can't, hold on. We can't get Arnold. How do we do Predator 2? I know, Danny Glover. Let's send him into the LA riots. All right.
And was it Danny Glover and Ruben Blades? Ruben Blades. Let's get those guys.
All right. Once a week until September, okay? We'll sell Hotel Transylvania 3 for you, summer vacation, theater, July 13th. But we need to do this every week until the movie comes out.
Morton Downey Jr. was in Predator 2.
Thank you, sir. Wait, who was?
Morton Downey Jr. Tony Pope.
Morton Downey Jr. Yes, that's right. Morton Downey Jr. and Maria Conchita Alonso.
Hold on. We got one more thing to say to you. Just on the way out the door, we want you to feel it in your bones.
You can join us anytime.
You can join us.
For tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. See you later.
For tomorrow. All right.
I ain't got time to bleed.
It calls from the plane.
Mike, take the battleship and move it in another direction. We spend the next 6 weeks taking this marching band to nowhere to see the next Predator movie.
Yeah.
That's where we go. Everyone back away, because that guy's coming with us. That guy's coming with us wherever this boat sails. It'll probably sail into a rock, but Predator, build up. Put Disney behind it. Let's get behind that guy's movie.
Next. You're holding up the line, ma'am.
What did you say?
You're next in line for the water slide, ma'am. Feet forward and enjoy the ride.
Okay, dearie. This does look fun. You melted me. I've melted.
The Wicked Witch of the West on a water slide? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
See what you've done. Oh!
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Don Le Batard.
Texter writes in, been listening to you guys from the beginning and just saw you on TV for the first time. Wow, Dan looks like he has a bag of nickels in his cheeks. And Stugotz looks really unhealthy.
Stugotz.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's because I am.
Yeah, and it's because I do.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Dan, it is time to pump the brakes. Can we pump the brakes on just how important Kawhi Leonard is to any NBA team? Seriously. Because Kawhi Leonard hurt his ankle, and that's really the last time we saw him play any meaningful basketball. And all these teams going after Kawhi Leonard, and the Celtics, they don't need Kawhi Leonard, by the way. They're doing just fine on their own, okay? They have all these assets, these young guys, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. They get Hayward back. Kyrie Irving's back next year. Let's pump the brakes on Kawhi Leonard being one of these all-time great players. Really, what has he done? He won a championship. A single championship. He hasn't played in a year. I have no idea if he's injured or not. I have no idea how he's going to bounce back from all these injuries. I haven't seen him play a basketball game in a year and a half. So everyone looking to trade their entire franchise to get Kawhi Leonard, do me a favor. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. I mean, do it at your own risk. I'm just warning you right now. I think he's damaged goods.
He's the only guy I've ever seen LeBron fear. LeBron in a finals game was at the free throw line. LeBron saw that he was checking back into the game.
And you know what I haven't seen is Kawhi Leonard in a year and a half.
LeBron James
LeBron feared J.J. Barea, please. Kawhi Leonard. I'm trading my whole franchise. A guy who hasn't played basketball in a year and a half. Damaged goods. Score in advance auto parts with 5 quarts of Mobil 1 motor oil and a Mobil 1 oil filter for $32.99. Plus, get a free Mobil 1 mini soccer ball after rebate. Think ahead, think advance.
Mike, I am really torn here. I do not know what to do. I feel like I just experienced, was it the Step Brothers movie? Did we just become best friends? Like, I want to talk Predator for the rest of time. Now, I'm going to alienate a portion of the audience, but I do believe I found, like yesterday, we stumbled upon the common ground of 90s baseball. I believe this movie might have some common ground on it where a lot of you care a lot about that movie, the way that actor cares about it, the way this show cares about it.
Right.
We became obsessed with Predator in a way that was unreasonable 10 years ago, we were going to have an event. Billy, who ran the knife across his chest, was going to sleep at Stugotz's house.
I was going to pick him up at the airport and drive him to my house. He's going to sleep over for the weekend.
Rest in peace. That guy at the end, we had an interview with him. It went off the rails because his politics were insanity.
Yeah, Sonny Landham was crazy.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, Sonny Landham was totally nuts, and he was going to stay at Stugotz's house.
For a weekend.
Because we were doing a whole weekend promotion around that movie.
We've got almost every mercenary on. We're just missing Shane Black and Arnold.
We
haven't had Hawkins on, and we should have a Hawkins on. As Keegan-Michael Key pointed out, he's directed a lot of blockbusters outside of being Hawkins and Predator. You know, Lethal Weapon movies,
Jesse
The Nice
Ventura
Guys.
graduated into being one of our weirdest and funniest guests.
Yeah.
The 2 United States senators came from that movie. Think about that. Sonny Landham's politics were crazy, and
Governors, that's fine.
Governors, I called them senators.
Yes, yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Governor Feather Boa.
Jesse Ventura and Arnold Schwarzenegger as senators.
Which
That's
one's
crazy.
worse? I did that. That is terrible. I just gave them demotions. Governors is better than senators, I feel like.
No, I think senator's better than governor.
I know.
No, I think senator.
I know people think that way, but I feel like Ventura and Schwarzenegger changed that by being governors. It's cooler to be a governor when you're wearing a feather boa. Two governors from that movie.
Stugotz here. There's nothing small about your business, your passion, your hours, your reputation. It's all huge. Your partnerships, even bigger. With Dell Small Business Technology Advisors, you'll get the tech, advice, and one-on-one partnership to help your business grow. Because with reliable Dell PCs with Intel Core processors, you can focus on what matters most, getting business done. Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today. That's 877-BUY-DELL. Listen up, people. We have a big favor to ask, and we promise it won't take up too much of your time. You know, our show is supported by some fantastic sponsors, right? Well, we'd love to hear your feedback. Head to ESPNpodcaststudy.com and fill out a short, anonymous survey. That's it. We swear, again, that's ESPNpodcaststudy.com.
Don Le Batard.
Robert Goulet, man, just a handsome devil.
Now, that's a French name.
Stugotz.
Cote is a French name. You look up, if there were phone books anymore, if you look up a Montreal phone book, my surname would be like Smith or Jones in the Midwest. I mean, Cote is such a common name. I make a reservation at Moish's under the name Cote, and it's like gold. You know,
the heady play.
They knit a red carpet just for me and my party to walk in because I'm a Cote in Montreal. You know, it's a marvelous thing. It's magical.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
So if you want to talk to Ron Magill, 786-456-4837 is the telephone number. And Guillermo, what were you yammering about during the break?
Well, I had a question for Ron because I know that he likes zoos, you know, as a way to teach people about animals. And I saw this video of a lion having a tug-of-war contest against 3 guys, and it was an example to show the strength of a lion, but I was wondering how he feels about the tiger being used in that occasion.
Well, you know, obviously it was a lion being used, not a tiger, but
fine.
$2, get out of here.
And it was 3 wrestlers, man.
Well, okay, yeah, it was 3 wrestlers, and it certainly demonstrates the strength of the lion. Having said that, some people might be saying, oh, you're exploiting the lion. Well, nobody was making the lion do that. That is kind of an enrichment process. I mean, lions will fight with other lions if they try to take meat away from other lions. So what I thought it did was I thought it effectively demonstrated that, hey, these animals are incredibly powerful. Again, if someone was there with a whip or making the lion do it or forcing him to do it for food or something like that, this was not a trained behavior. This was a natural instinct, and the lion holding on to something that it believed it should have possession of and not relinquishing it to something that it thought was competitors. So it thought those 3 wrestlers was competing for that rope, and it was not going to give it up, and it showed its strength, and I was pretty impressed by it.
Well, let me ask you this, though, as it relates to animals, and I don't know if this is a strength thing and the elephant or the rhino is always going to win, but in terms of wanted in tug-of-war and a spirit of play and all those things, what are the top 3 animals that would make us have to have like 100 wrestlers out there who would lose that tug-of-war?
Those are obviously going to be animals that are the heaviest animals. So you're going to got to go with the pachyderms. It's going to be the rhino, lion, and hippo. I mean, rhino, elephant, and hippo. I mean, just just by sheer mass. They have an incredible, powerful jaw to hold on to things. I've seen a hippo break a crocodile in half, okay? We've seen what elephants can do in moving logs and buildings, for that matter. And, of course, you have rhinos, which, are unstoppable. So assuming that, the rhino's not going to be able to hold a rope in his mouth, but if you tied the rope around its horn and you had him pull, you're going to have 20, 30 wrestlers, and I don't even know if they could be able to stop the rhino. I mean, that's how powerful these animals are.
What's the number where you're confident that the wrestlers would win? Is there a number there? 50 or more? 60? What is it? Against a rhino.
It's against a rhino, I'm going to say 40. 40 strong wrestlers. 40 strong wrestlers.
But are they Andre the Giant? Is it Andre the Giant, or is it just like 40?
No, it's 40 strong. 40 Ric Flairs. 40 Ric Flairs.
40 Ric Flairs. Fair, good, fair. Okay.
Ron.
Okay, 40 Ric Flairs.
40 Harley races. 40 Harley races.
That's assuming that the rhino is pumped up on adrenaline. If the rhino doesn't want to do it, he'll give in. But if it's something that he thinks this is something I'm going to do, it's a life or death thing. Oh yeah, no, adrenaline's going to take those wrestlers around like they're made out of styrofoam.
No, you know what? Not against 2 Harley races. If I make it 2 Harley races,
you're right.
I just thought of 40 Harley races, they would totally pulverize an elephant. But 2 Harley races.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid, Dan. You really are. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. You're watching all that wrestling hype, and you're listening to these guys. Half of that stuff is fake as heck anyway. So the bottom line is, rhinos aren't fake, elephants aren't fake, and hippos aren't fake. They're going to show you the real deal, and those guys are going to be embarrassed.
You clearly know nothing about Harley race.
Clearly. I mean, how much more obvious would you like to make it? Harley Race, do you not understand how he dominated wrestling at that size and stature?
Not only that, this guy held up promoters with guns. He was terrifying.
Yes.
He's a mythical figure.
Your trailer park dad.
We're not giving him a gun against these animals, okay? He might have had good moves. We're talking about sheer tug-of-war strength. We're not talking about, the atomic elbow. We're not talking about the backside flip. We're talking about sheer strength.
Again,
okay?
have you seen Harley Race's forearms?
Put your intelligent heads on and get off of this.
Why don't you understand that the atomic strength in Harley Race's arms is something comparable? It's not fake. You sound like a loon.
God,
you sound like a loon, not understanding.
Sometimes, Dan, you sound so incredibly intelligent, and then you can go to the other extreme so rapidly. So rapidly.
Why has everything got to be race with you? Earlier this week, Ron, I found out that it takes sloths a week to go to the bathroom, and that the pain is akin to childbirth. I'm talking pooping and peeing. Now, do they poop once a week because it hurts so bad and they just want to save it all, or because sloths are generally slow, their metabolisms are slow too?
They're slow. Their metabolism is slow, but also that is the only time that sloths come down from. I'm actually flying to Panama in a few weeks to bring back a couple of sloths that we're going to use as ambassador animals. The only time sloths come down from the tree is to poop. Okay, so by coming down from the tree, they're exposing themselves to predation or whatever. So they kind of hold it. They hold it for as long as they can, and then I don't know where you get the information that it's incredibly painful like childbirth, because I've never seen a sloth as it's pooping going, oh my God, this hurts, oh my God. They don't convey that, okay? I've seen them poop on the floor. It doesn't seem anything. It's not like they're giving birth. They do it, and they go back up the tree. But again,
why can't they just poop off the tree? I don't understand.
It's just their instinct. I don't know why. I think they want to bury their poop in the ground and try to disguise so they're not drawing predators, because poop has a smell to it, as many of you know. And that smell would probably attract predators. So he's thinking, let me go down to the tree, get it down to the ground, go back up in the tree.
That's a good theory. That's a good theory right there. The poop theory is a good theory.
You don't know where I got it. Have you heard of a little something called the Washington Post?
Wow. Oh, boy. What is that?
Okay. 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 Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your boom of knowledge, your fountain of knowledge that comes from the Washington Post, that the sloths are actually conveying to someone in the Post that it's painful for them to poop.
It says here, according to the Washington Post, June 21st, 2016, each bowel movement is a bit like giving birth. And then ScienceAlert.com. This is a horror sloths go through every time they have to poop.
Wait a minute. Giving birth, but you're assuming that giving birth is extremely painful. If you talk to my mom said it didn't hurt her at all. Okay, giving birth might be because it is a big process.
No, because she is tremenda cubana.
That's exactly what it was. Eso es dar a luz es algo, un milagro de la vida. That's something she really loved, she said. She said it was the most beautiful moment of her life. She didn't feel the pain. Now, my sister said while she was giving birth that my mom was a liar, but the bottom line is my mom felt that it was not painful. So it's all subjective.
Don't you feel like a fool, Sensual Mike?
I got science behind me. I got a website here called sciencealert.com that says, I know more about sloths than you.
Okay, kook. Well, the web is absolutely a definite source of valid, credible information. 100%.
Sure is. Orlando, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami. Go ahead, Orlando.
I recently saw 2 giraffes drinking straight from the stream of urine of another giraffe. Why did I see that, Ron? Why?
Okay. That's a very good question, and it's a very simple answer. They are getting the urine because urine is the information highway to the hormone state of that particular animal. Males will always follow females. If you come to the zoo or even in the wild, you go to Africa, you'll see as soon as females start to urinate, if there's a male nearby, he's going to try to get that urine right into his mouth. It's kind of like a wine tasting, okay? He's analyzing the urine. He can tell the hormone level in the urine to see if the female is cycling, if she's ready to be bred. He can also sense if it's an animal that might be an aggressor or a threat. Urine is that information. So he's not drinking the urine. He's just tasting it and analyzing the hormone level in the urine to see the reproductive status of that particular animal. You learn a lot of great things on this program.
Hold on, Ron. Hold on.
Sound a little kinky. A wine tasting? That's also pee. In.
Oh,
are you guys mocking me now? As I'm trying to give you some good information.
No. We were just
okay. When are you going to go? When's the guy going to ask me about? Is it true that billy goats urinate on their beards?
Pablo, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami. Go ahead, Pablo.
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. Go ahead. What is your call?
I have a canal in the back of my house, and there's a manatee that's always coming, near my house. So I started doing some research on manatees, and I learned that the manatees has the closest thing to a vagina. I just want to know if that's correct.
What?
That manatees have the closest thing to a vagina?
I'm deeply uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little uncomfortable, too, because most females have something called a vagina in the mammal kingdom. So,
let's move on.
Is he trying to say that I don't know if he's trying to cause a resemblance to humans or whatever.
Stephanie, you're on ESPN.
Keep it moving.
What took you so long?
The suits in Connecticut are going to go crazy.
What took you so long?
I was putting together a mental picture. And then I realized, no, bad mental picture.
Stephanie, you're on with Ron Magill of Zoo Miami.
Stephanie, bring some intelligence to this conversation. Go ahead.
I've been thinking about the woman that died trying to save her dog from an alligator, and I have a very large, lovable Great Dane. What should I do if I'm attacked by a wild animal or another dog in order to protect my dog without hurting myself?
Well, it's a lot easier said than done. The bottom line is a dog is like a part of a family member, and I can understand the instinct to try to protect your dog. The fact is, you have other members of your family, whether it be children, whether it be brothers, whether it be sisters, whether it be parents, that also depend on you. And if you have to put one in front of the other, I would not try to fight off a gator with my bare hands, a large gator that gets my dog, because it could result in the horrible tragedy that you saw with that woman. Having said that, if you can come up with a stick or some type of weapon, some type of club, just beat the snot out of that thing as hard as you can, I would definitely do that. I mean, I just wouldn't sit there. I would scream. I would try to do something, but I wouldn't reach in with my hand and try to open the jaws of the alligator to get it off of my dog, because that usually is going to result in a worse situation.
The way that we end this segment, whenever Ron's around, and we have him every week, and he has become more and more popular. You guys love him. It's the most popular segment we do every week. At the end of it, he does audio on the radio for a video that you will now see on ESPN Ooze. I do not
tell me when the video's up.
Okay, let's see the timing on this. Let's figure out if we've got it right or if we've got it on the delay, and we will figure out now. Go ahead and do it. Play by play.
Okay. All right. So what we have here is a praying mantis. It's slow. It's looking at something. It's all beautiful pan close up. This is there's a mouse. There's a mouse going through. Just smelling, looking for, close up of the mantis's face, close up of the mouse's eyes, looking at the mantis. Is he going to get this mouse? Really? I've never seen this. A mantis is going up. The mouse is kind of rubbing his nose, kind of oblivious to what's around him. The mouse is going to walk by. Now they're both in the same frame. Oh, the mantis looks at him. He's like, He's got him. They're upside down. Oh, my God, he's got this mouse. I've never seen this. A praying mantis has got the, yes, God, what a kill. That was amazing. I've never seen that. Great video, guys.
All right.
Wow.
Thank you,
That
Ron.
was big.
All
Have a great week.
All right,
Bye.
you too, buddy. That was delightful. And also calling secretly to Sensual Mike again. I feel like it was really, I don't know why, his enthusiasm was a little, all right, let's keep it moving.
Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
Stugotz is out of control. Yesterday, we're taping the TV show, and me, my father, and Bomani all looked at each other because they tape it through Washington, and Washington was like, what was that? And all three of us were like, oh, just Stugotz.
Stugotz.
Well, I heard, I think it was a take that Dan gave, and I just screamed out, wrong!
That's right, he did. That's exactly right. He yelled wrong, and everybody stopped and was like, what was that? And we were just like, yeah, Stugotz.
Yep. I just want to give takes, man.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
We run them into the ground around here. We have this team of thoroughbred producers, the fattest show in America. We are so produced, impeccably produced, but we run them right into the ground. Never more so than today when a broken-spirited Mike Ryan came in here. And he seems sick. He still hasn't gotten a surgical mask. We had those around here for a failed Ninja Warrior stunt that we did.
He'd be mad at any of us if we showed up the way he showed up today. Like, no, he tells me to stay home if I feel like this.
He is a mess. He's been coughing all show. He's got that terrible Cody cough that has plagued the show. He's coughing into his shirt. He's a rude executive with spittle all over the place. That thing's gotten contagious around here. And because of all of this, Mike, you have not met what I believe to be an important standard of producing, which is Predator is the wheelhouse for the ages with men and movies. And I need you to meet my enthusiasm with enthusiasm. But you're so busted up that we are now going to ride a Predator rocket ship into the sky that will be us actually jumping the shark.
Half this room hasn't even seen it, which is very disappointing to me.
Yes. You guys need to watch it.
You need to get on it.
If we're going to spend the next 6 weeks doing this, you guys need to, and we're going to jump the shark together, you need to watch it.
This is a slow time, and this comes full circle because I think, Stugotz, correct me if I'm wrong, we need to teach we don't need to teach Roy and Mike anything. We've been at this for a long time. They've been here through the 15 years of crud that we've done.
We were here the summer of 2007 when we did this exact same plan.
That's right.
Yes.
And that was 11 years ago. And now we've got, you would say that's a legitimate star signing up to do something with us. Yes, even though I don't know whether he's Key or Peele.
Yes, Keegan-Michael Key, that is a star. Man.
Has he signed up for anything? Do we know? Or I mean, was that a binding agreement? I don't know what happened.
Told us what we wanted to hear.
Okay.
I think the way the call ended, if I eavesdropped correctly, was Allyson saying, "Okay, we'll talk to you in September before the Predator comes out."
Oh, get out of here!
Now, Allyson, hold on a second. What happened?
She smiled, which
he said tomorrow. He calls from the plane. I mean,
Allyson, we need to develop a kinship with that guy, stepbrother style. Did we just become best friends so that we can obsess over the Predator franchise, Predator movie? He loved doing that.
Yeah, he did.
And
I mean, you're good. You guys are good. Don't worry about it. You'll have him back on. I just don't know if you're going to have him on every day for the next 3 months.
Tomorrow? Well, how's tomorrow?
It was just once a week. Just once a week.
I'd like him on every day.
Yeah, every day.
I mean, that's probably not going to happen.
But I mean, like Chris Sims is what I'm saying. Like Chris Sims, you're doing every day.
Like his Predator fact of the day.
You want to go scene by scene or Predator fact? What do you want to do?
This is what I want to do. This is what I'd like to try to do, and we'll work it out on air. The Disney machine can get behind supporting something here. the Disney machine. It can be more successful than the recently failed Louis Brinson All-Star campaign.
That's not over. That's spreading the nation right now.
Just
4
getting
stadiums,
started,
2 days. Yeah, and today, I feel like we're going to have 2 more stadiums today. We're going to get in all 30 ballparks before the end of this campaign. I'm telling you right now.
Yep. You clean up the mess afterwards, Dan.
This can be a big effort where we combine forces with Fox in the last really act of generosity between the two parties before ESPN buys everything in sports and obliterates everything. At the height of that ladder, are you telling me, Mike, that we might be promoting a Fox movie? Are you telling me that I'm going across the corporate wiring streams here in a way that is aggressive and dangerous?
Let's just say the relationship is a bit murky right now.
All right, well, let's fix that.
I think all of this is also subject to government approval, which is
that's the other thing.
kind of a big deal.
That's really quick.
When you're sick, you sound like Alan Thicke all the time.
No, but I love this character, but he's no longer sensual and he's no longer sick. He's just an incredible problem solver that's cool in all circumstances.
I've noticed how much.
No matter, it's so the opposite of who you actually
Alter
are.
ego,
It's like sedated Mike.
I've noticed how much just the voice puts you at ease. I'm on it.
We're in an airplane. Okay, I just want you to know the tiniest space that he's breathing on all of us. All of us are infected. It's over for everyone in this room. I'm just saying, he's joyfully like, I'm so miserable, breathing on everything. It's a nightmare in here.
You're not going to get sick. Trust me.
I do.
I do too. I totally do. Anything you say, you should be reading our ads.
I got this. All right, give me the ad.
Good, because I don't have the copy.
There's no ad?
Sorry.
Killer.
Dan Le Batard.
Fake Marty Smith, you're on ESPN Radio.
Stugotz.
Hey, Benno! It's Marty Party! What are you guys doing? Hey, Stu!
Hey, Marty!
Yeah. Hey, guys, hey! I just parachuted out of a plane, man, and in Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa just got down here. I'm with Nick Saban, man!
Yeah,
we're about to go bass fishing on some jet skis!
Yeah, that's great.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
Hereditary, go see it. It's a good horror movie. I don't know if it changes the genre, but I'm not used to a horror movie being that artsy, that pacing. You will like that movie. And spoiler alert, it was the Art Briles story that made me think of it.
I'm on TMZ Sports right now, and I just see a headline: Nick Young legalized cocaine! Exclamation point.
Oh,
wait, what?
Boy.
What?
Boy. He's a champion now.
Oh my God! Hold on a second. Hold on. This is disorienting because I want to do Predator talk.
But Nick Young, I mean.
But Nick Young has gone to TMZ and done what?
Cameras caught up with him outside, and the quote, legalized cocaine, exclamation point.
Can we read the rest of that story, though? I would like to read from TMZ.com in a segment we like to call Reading, because we have argued for many years around here, Stugotz, about character-winning championships, and it's important to have exactly the right fit of pieces that get along chemically balanced in order to win the championship. And then Swaggy P and JaVale McGee show up.
I mean, the quote they have on their website, and apparently there's a video that goes that goes with this. I want people to pass cocaine. The NBA star told TMZ Sports outside of One Oak on Tuesday night. Everybody needs to do cocaine! Exclamation point.
Yep. Let's be honest, that was probably Wednesday morning.
In Miami, that's Wednesday morning. in every way. But the idea that we will scrub, like, we are going to have a hard time. Stugotz, if you remember this, at the risk of becoming your grandpa's radio show, like, Allen Iverson was an affront to sportsmanship, dragging his guys to the finals, missing practices, drinking a bunch. He wasn't what Swaggy P is. Like,
no, not even close.
Like, what Swaggy P is allowed to exist as a comical joke in a way that 20 years ago would not have been allowed.
Well, Iverson was a lot better, but yes, I mean, Swaggy P would not be allowed to exist.
Think about this. What Swaggy P? What do you mean legalize cocaine? What? And Swaggy P, in the middle of the locker room celebration, was talking about snitching and how D'Angelo Russell betrayed him. It's a sports crime for the new millennia. The idea that D'Angelo Russell is now a net with Dwight Howard. Wait, right. What? Mm-hmm. What? Dwight Howard. What are the Nets going at people with? What's Prokhorov going at people with? Is it Dwight Howard, Jeremy Lin?
No, Lin's gone. He's I don't know where he is.
I don't think he's gone.
He's still in the NBA. He's not with the Nets, though.
I think he is with the Nets.
He's just been hurt. He signed a big contract.
All right, look at where the Boston Celtics are after trading Garnett and Pierce and everybody over there, and the Nets were going to have a super team. Prokhorov was doing, flips off of a jet ski, and he didn't keep any paper trail in Russia because God knows what he was doing with no computers.
You're right. I guess he was hurt. Isaiah Whitehead is what they're coming at people with.
Okay, and so Prokhorov trades these guys and says, I'm going to start basketball big in Brooklyn with Jay-Z the same way that Puma's doing it now, saying we're starting with Jay-Z. We're going to build something. We're going to build a big brand. And he does it with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce, who had spent the entire summer in a Las Vegas casino getting a massage for 3 months while admittedly in a bathrobe, never leaving a bathrobe and drinking the entire time. 3 months.
Got Jahlil Okafor, though. I mean, Twin Towers.
No, but now look at it, though. Look at it closely, Stugotz. And the Boston Celtics, since that time, they now have all of the assets you could want. They have, with the clarity of hindsight, that Sports Illustrated cover of, who was it, Mike? Garnett, Pierce, and Darren Williams?
Yeah, and don't forget Jason Kidd was there.
Yeah.
They were coming to get the Miami Heat, right?
Yes.
That was what was coming to get the Miami Heat. And now look at what mismanagement looks like. It looks like the Nets. Who's their coach? I dare you. Who's their coach? I dare you.
Oh, man.
The cover said, who wants a piece of this team? We forgot ISO Joe was on that cover, as was Brooke Lopez.
Is it Avery Johnson?
No, he's in Alabama.
Oh. I've told you for 10 years that Brooke Lopez story. It's a joke around the Miami Heat offices. Every year the call comes in. Hey, we're shopping Brooke Lopez. Anyone interested? And every year it's like they put everyone on hold, and it's like again we're getting the Brooke Lopez call. That's what they were building around. And now look at it though. Look at where the Celtics are, and look at where the Nets are.
More ridiculous SI cover touting a super team that fell on its face. Who wants a piece of this team with the Nets of Brooke Lopez, Darren Williams, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Joe Johnson with Jason Kidd at the center of it? Or this is going to be fun with Steve Nash and Dwight Howard in Lakers jersey.
When we ask a question around here, I am telling you, within seconds we will get an answer, and we will get like hundreds of the same answer, because I always say the audience knows more about sports than we do. No one has answered your Nets question yet.
Who's the coach of the Nets? I dare you.
No one knows.
All right, put it on the poll, Guillermo, at Batard Show. Who's the coach of the Nets? I dare you.
Lionel Hollins was a couple stops ago, right?
I can tell you I now know it. It is not Lionel Hollins.
All right, hold on. Let's figure this out. Since they are. So D'Angelo Russell is there. Let's stop. Everyone stop. Everyone gather around. Let's do this without the internet. The way the kids used to do it back in the days when encyclopedias were sold door to door. Let's figure this out. Who plays for the Nets? Let's do this as a sports show at the height of the sports entertainment mountain. How many as a show do you think we can get right now? No internet. No.
I can name one because I had him on my fantasy team last year. I don't know his first name.
No.
Levert.
Does it mean that he's still on the team? Do you know? Hold on.
I don't know if he's still on the team.
I think we know Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard has now been traded to the Nets in the final stages of his of what remains of his career.
And we know Russell. We know Russell's there. We know Lynn is there because I just said it.
And I knew Mozgov was there, but Mozgov got sent to Charlotte in this deal.
So has it? What? Dunwoody?
Dinwiddie. That's a fun. No, Dinwiddie's still there.
You know this?
I do. Oh, yes. This is what fantasy does for me.
All right, so we've got four guys. We, as a sports show at the height of the mountain.
Was it Jeremy Lin on that team?
Is there a Trevor Booker somewhere? Is there a Trevor Booker somewhere?
I feel like there always is, right? Yeah. I feel like, but he's bounced back and forth between there and Utah, right? Forever.
Yeah,
like
Trevor
7
Booker
times.
There's two guys named Trevor Booker, and they both play for the Jazz and Nets, right?
That's how I feel that's gone. Anyone else? Has that gone that way for anyone else? I don't know very much about Trevor Booker's career. I know, though, that I associate him with those two teams. I feel like he's played for both of them 7 different times. I don't know why I'm doing that. I think it sounds like the ramblings of a crazy person.
I think Wizards, too, with Booker, for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, give me the career. I didn't think we'd end up here today. Give me the career of Trevor Booker, where it bounced around to.
Burbeck almost, huh?
I mean, this is crazy. There's a picture of him in a Sixers uniform. I don't remember that at all, but according to Google, he's with the Pacers now.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so no longer a Brooklyn Net. So you are wrong. Rejected. Now our list is falling apart. As a sports show at the height of the entertainment mountain, we can name 4 Nets and can't name the coach.
In my defense, he did play 18 for the Nets this season.
Yep. First 4 seasons with the Wizards, by the way.
Then the stop in Utah.
Well, how long? How long was the Utah stop?
2 years.
I don't know why I'm doing that. Trevor Booker's
Burbeck
career.
again.
Trevor Booker's career. Trevor Burbeck is the boxer that lost to Ali. There's just so much clutter in my head.
Ryan, I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just say it.
What is it, Linda?
I think we should see other people.
Are you breaking up with me on a roller coaster?
Well, we do have a lot of fun. Maybe we should stay together.
An emotional roller coaster? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I just need a little me time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Don Le Batard.
Good work today. That was a fun show.
Stugotz.
It was also intergalactically stupid.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio.
I have enjoyed very few shows. I'm sorry, I was Mike Francesa there. I was lost in the music.
Man?
My forehead hit the microphone. I was falling asleep. I was blaming Roy and Mike Ryan and Sweeney Murdy.
What a Diet Coke.
I was just enjoying the music, though. I was allowing it to sink into my soul.
Good music.
Hold on. You can't mix that with something from today's show, an assortment of sounds. We're light on polls, so I don't know how much I can push on you or lean on you here. But if you want to mix it with show sounds, if you want to... No? You don't want to do it?
I mean...
Let's update the polls and see. Let's let Mike work the bit out. Let's let Mike work it out around...
Where is that crate?
It's been a long time. We didn't. Why did the magic crate of content get put someplace else? What happened?
Oh, it's really big. That's why.
It's locked. It's got a lock on it. Okay.
I got it.
All right. A listener made that. We'll be able to sell that hopefully soon. We'll be able to sell that to you for millions of dollars, like a Wu-Tang album.
What is this thing that's in here? It's got batteries in it and stuff. Anyway, hold on a sec. Here you go, Dan. I rummaged around.
You like to rummage?
Yep.
Who are the 3 greatest living musicians? Wow.
Easy. Pitbull, Taylor Swift, Rihanna. Boom.
Bob Weir, John Mayer, and Eddie Vedder.
What? Guys. They invented music, right? White guys?
Look like a ventriloquist.
I did. Mike, it really died on the vine there. Though, do we have 3 great living musicians? The 3, if you had to choose from everyone that's out there, a lot of people are going to give McCartney a nod, even though Amin has been texting me for weeks that McCartney's overrated. It's the weirdest diatribe he's got. He thinks that McCartney's overrated as a musician. Like, nobody thinks that. Nobody.
No, I've been telling you for years the Beatles are overrated.
You can think that the Beatles are overrated. Nobody thinks that the musicianship of Paul McCartney is overrated. Nobody.
It is. I agree with Amin. What has he done? Go ahead. Name anything. Outside of the Beatles, go ahead. Name a song. Go ahead. Waiting.
I mean, he's one of the great collaborators of all time. He's always...
Do it on your own.
I mean, there's Clapton. There's Elton John, right? Stevie Wonder's still kicking around.
Pretty good.
You would have we lost a couple recently that a lot of people would have just...
Yeah, Prince and Bowie would have... I would have said...
A lot of people would have taken those 2 guys. But living performers, like how about... where do you go with Al Green? Like, he's a pastor in Memphis now, right? Like, Al... If you're doing living musicians, who's better than that, right? Mike, you got that crazy James Brown clip from CNN so we could play some of that? James Brown is no longer with us, right? I don't know when we lost him. I get those things confused as I age. Let's update the polls real quick as Mike tries to find that CNN sound of James Brown clearly not right while doing a CNN interview.
At Batard Show on Twitter, do you know which one is Key and which one is Peel? 59% of the audience said yes. Is it cooler to be a governor or a senator? Oh, Dan, you were right. 61% of the audience said governor. Who is the coach of the Nets? I dare you. 85% of the audience said who cares.